Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Sean, back again with another video, and today we're going to talk about branded again into this upcoming Rota format. Now, this video is a video that I want to make because of the hype going around for the card Mucho Mi Fuwaross and how branded takes a massive hit against Fuwaross. Also, this list does not have Fuwaross in it because I know that not everybody can afford a $160 per card Fuwaross. Now, I still recommend play Fuwaross in this deck because this Fuwaross allows you to draw into the board breakers necessary for this deck. But if you don't have Fuwaross, this is fine, and I will show you my build. The way I think that there are substitution for Fuwaross out there if you want to play this deck at the best level that it can be. So let's hop on right into it with the deck profile. Oop, spoiler there. First we have 3 Aluber. Ratios really has not changed for the main deck monsters, except for one. I'll show you guys in a bit. 3 Aluber, 3 Albas, nothing has really changed. 2 Cartesia and 2 Quem. Really, the ratio hasn't changed ever since from the last video. For the monster wise, at least, we play 3 Albion, 2 Mercurier, 1 Tragedy, 1 Kid, and 1 Puppet for the monster lineup. Nothing has really changed. Everything has been explained in the last video. There are some new additions, especially in the Bestial package department. I decided to main deck the Magnum Hut because this is a 60 card deck. The reason, and also, spoiler alert, no grass in this deck because, first of all, I think that in a format where it is either you play a shifter deck or an Azamina deck, the bestial package becomes grass becomes a much more less powerful card. So at the end of the day, I think having a standard 5 bestial count for the Fiendsmith engine plus all the light and dark decks out there to disrupt your opponent, because now with the Rage of the Abyss, hitting the Lurry from the graveyard is more important than ever out of your opponent's graveyard to stop their Fiendsmith combo, because of the new Lacrima monster, Lacrima main deck monster. So hitting the Lurry out of the graveyard is so much more important to have the extra bestial in here, which is completely fine. Also, because I'm playing 60, the extra bestial definitely needs to be in here for the extra help in high spirits and all that stuff. So, and then the addition that I have made in this deck is Dogmatica Maximus. So this is the way that you play around Fuwaross when your opponent drops a Fuwaross on you on the Brand Fusion. So now, if you have Nadir Servant in your hand and you resolve the Brand Fusion, you give them 1 draw by just give them the Rinbrum by just making the Rinbrum, or you can make Sanctifier Dragon, and from that point on, you can go Servant, search this card, send whatever your servant targets that you choose, summon this card, and then you send Titanica and Albion off of it, and then you are able to play around your opponent's Fuwaross really easy, especially with the Nadir Servant package right then and there, which is really, really good, especially if your opponent keeps Fuwarossing you. This is the way that you would play around it, and then you'll be able, and remember, Nadir Servant is a puppet lock in itself. If you guys know the combo, I recommend you guys check out YouTube videos on how to do the lock without the Bucephalos, because with the Bucephalos it's a true 1-card puppet lock with Nadir Servant, but without the Nadir Servant, without the Bucephalos in the extra deck, because the extra deck is really tight, you have multiple ways, because you have multiple cards in this deck that can get you there, like Cartesia, Quem, all that stuff can easily get you there. So the Maximus is here. Now, for the major meat of the deck, we have 3 opening, 3 high spirits. The branded spell and trap ratios are relatively the same, except for I cut out 1 red for 1 branded in white, because now with the shifter deck starts to fly around in Rota format, now that the strength of shifter decks are now even more important because of the Azamina stuff, branded in white now actually do help in certain scenarios where you have to make Light and Darkness Dragon in from your hand. All that stuff also helps you like facilitate plays. And then the 1 Retribution along with the Gold Sark as another starter in this deck. Next we play the 3 Fusion Deployment. His card is good in this deck because it's both good going first and second. First as a starter, a way to start your combo with Cartesia, and going second as a board breaker to summon Albas. Shocker, no need to explain. 3 Nadir Servant, as I explained before. You dump Garura off of this, gets a free draw, and now you are able to play through your opponent's stuff. And play through Fuwaross, as I said before. Draw power, 3 Allure of Darkness, and the 3 Desires. Since we play 60, we play a lot of 3-ups. You're gonna, the Desires is going to, the math on Desires favors you more as the bigger your build is and the more 3-ups that you play. So Desires, 3-up. Sometimes you get unlucky off of Desires, which is fine. It's variance. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game of variance, but the benefit of having the Desires outweighs that con a lot, especially when you play a big build, like a 60 card build. So now Desires, to help you with that consistency, we still play the 3 Thrust, 1 Talent, and the 1 Duplication as a non-engine and engine at the same time. I think this card is still good. You guys should just, if you have Thrust, play Thrust. This card is the best card. If once your Branded Fusion gets Ash and you have this in your hand, this is how you play through a lot of this, just ashing your Branded Fusion. Also, remember, Nadir Servant is also a way for you to play past Ash Blossom on Branded Fusion. 3 Eclipse. For the last 7, we played 3 Eclipse, 3 Super Poly, and the 1 Called By. So the change that I made, especially, is I cut the droplet for Eclipse and Super Poly simply because of Shifter. Again, I said it again and again, Shifter and also Azabina, since they have a fusion on your opponent's field. So let's say if your opponent set up a classic Snake Eye Fiendsmith board, you can use Super Poly to fuse away the Desiree and a dark monster that your opponent control on the Yubel board. Or if you play against Azamina Snake Guy, you want to stop, you want to Super Poly away something, you fusion, you Super Poly away the Rhea Silvera, and which is the Omni Negate, and another dark monsters that they have. Most likely is going to be IP Masquerena after they summon the IP Masquerena for Drago Sapelia. That way you can have multiple layers of disruption, which is this guy now becomes the best Super Poly target against your opponent, when especially when they have the Azamina cards. And then the Call by the Grave for Ash Blossom, hand traps, Yubel, and all that stuff. So that's it for the main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck. We have is relatively the same with the branded Albas fusions. Nothing has really changed so far. These 8 will always stay the same in my deck. A lot of people went to 1 Mirror Jade. I think it's fine to play 2 because you're gonna run into a lot of grind game situation where you're gonna need 2. If you need to side out something, you can side out 1 Mirror Jade for Lenatus against Tenpai, which is the kill shot against this deck. So against that deck, so that is completely fine. And then utility monsters, we have 2 Grand Guignol as a part of the engine. You need 2 Grand Guignol to be able to puppet lock your opponent with 1 Branded Fusion. And then we have the Super Poly targets in Garura and Drago Sapelia, also Nadir Servant, you play the Garura because you play the Nadir Servant. That's why the Nadir Servant and Super Poly goes hand in hand together. It feels really well. And then Dragosopelia is here for, as I explained before, as a Super Poly target when the Azamina card is on the field. Like, you can fuse away the Azamina, Rhea Silvera, and again IP Masquerena, or any other dark monster that they have on the field. And then Chimera, Furious Dragon against Floodgates, and the Lad for Shifter, because you guys need to know how to play under Shifter with Branded, and this card helps you with it. The 2-card combo with the Aluber and access to Cartesia is a Lad and Rinbrum under Shifter. That's it for the main deck. Sideboard, again, Druid Swarm. I played the rest of the Bestials here that I want to play, because in a matchup where Bestial is really favored, this card just stomps them. 1 Abalinitus for the 10-5 matchup. Now we have Super Poly, so now if they hit a disruption on Albas, you can Super Poly away again into this, and then you just win the game from that point. 3 Dogwood for time, especially if you are against a meta where a lot of decks right now are just comboing 15-20 minutes, especially Snake Eyes. Now that Snake Eyes is back into the meta, this card now becomes a commodity. Duster, Lightning Storm for back row. This could be Cosmic if you guys want, but against like stun decks in general or heavy back row decks, these becomes like super flexible. And then last but not least are the 3 of the inferior Mocharmy. Perulia. It's still good into matchups that Perulia is really strong against. And then the 3 Dark Ruler No More to round out the sideboard. So that is it for the deck profile. A lot of changes compared to the last videos that I did about Branded. I think this variant is a little bit more explosive against Fuwaross, which is the biggest threat against this deck, especially going into this upcoming format. Definitely do test it out and see how you guys feel about certain engines, and comment down below what should I do next, what can I improve on, like what text you guys think is gonna be fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.